Yo, what's going on, you guys?
That was a good intro. How long did that take you to get that to get all the editing done for your intro?
Like a week and a half, basically.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm still having it. I'm still having it formatted so it can play just like on through StreamYard and stuff. It's a little too big for StreamYard.
Fiverr, or did you have?
I had somebody make it. Yeah,
okay. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I like your intro. Did a good job on that.
No, I really liked it and stuff and everything. Yeah. We're still editing. That's still a rough cut too and stuff. So we're still adding more stuff to it. So it's going to be more ridiculous as it keeps going on.
Yeah.
But for real, dude, what's going on, man?
Good. Yeah, it's been a good run, at least so far the last couple of weeks in the market. So yeah, everything's going really well. And summertime, definitely Solana summer right now on the price charts. That one has been ripping.
I mean, I should whip him out right now. Shit. I should whip him out right now. Yeah. What are we talking about? The market's so green right now. I mean, like, man, Solana season in full effect. I'm with my main man right now, Wave 3 TV. Is it just Wave or just Wave 3 TV?
Wave is good. Yeah.
Wave's good.
I like the Wave tag. I was looking at those Viper. So I see the Viper sunglasses a lot since I'm in San Diego. So they're pretty popular around here right now. And I looked into those to see if they had. I was debating on getting prescriptions, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I have some sunglasses in mind,
right,
that are gonna look really cool. But it's going to take a little time to get because they're prescription and the supply chain's a little bit, it's kind of effed up right now. So it's going to take a little time to get the sunglasses, get the swag.
You'll get it done. I mean, the only thing is they're really, really hard to look through. I mean, dude, it's dark.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I have to figure out, because the natural lighting in my apartment, I don't get very good natural lighting because the way the windows face relative to the sun. So I'm gonna have to get basically a new apartment where there's more natural lighting, so I can wear and so I can actually see my computer screen while I'm wearing sunglasses.
Right. I mean, I have some prescription sunglasses as well that I have.
Mm.
Those are just like Ray-Bans and everything
Yeah.
like that. But dude, California loans finally. Fuck!
Do that one more time.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's the well, that's good because now California can pump my bags, leverage up and pump my bags.
Dude, I am so happy, dude. I've been waiting for such a long time. Dude, we were supposed to get these things like last year, man. We were supposed to get it in like August of last year.
Did the loans, there's not, I haven't actually used the Celsius app in quite a while, but
Right.
did you actually check on the app to see if you like
It's
to
on there.
confirm
It's on
it?
there.
Everything's on there?
Yeah, so all you
Okay.
do is, you guys, anyone in California, update your app right now, and the Cali
Mm.
loans are live. You can either it still won't show the option to take a loan on the asset itself. When you go into the little bottom right hand corner, the little Celsius symbol, you click on that, and then it has loan feature. You can borrow some money,
Mm.
basically. So it's sick,
Yeah.
sick, dude. I've got my brothers have all taken loans already. I'm about to take a loan in a little bit. I'm just waiting to transfer some more Celsius to my account, and then
Okay.
take that loan. I mean, right now, I really would only recommend taking a loan on Cell Token still, just because its downside is a lot less than I would say other cryptocurrencies, because you have a lot more volatility. Like, I would never take a loan on like synthetics. That's like
Oh,
bad,
that's asking to
bad.
get destroyed. Yeah, that's
Oof.
asking to get destroyed.
I would never ever tell you
Yeah,
guys to do
that's
that.
risky. Yeah,
Like,
the only three options to me for loans are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Celsius. Everything else is too risky to take loans on because of the volatility. Yeah, Celsius has held up roughly within a certain, it's like basically between $4 to $7 the last couple months. So if you do a 25% LTV, what is the current price right now? Like 650?
yeah, but is it really 650? Okay, so yesterday
Yeah, let's
when I did the
see.
loans for my brothers, their liquidation was $1.93.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Because today the
Yeah.
price $6.31. So if you do they must have done it at roughly around 650, or maybe, yeah, I say probably around 650. But if you take a loan out right now, yeah, your liquidation right now would be $1.58.
Yeah.
So
So
the
3 year, you can do it for 3 years. You can lock it up for 3 years. The
damn,
loan.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. It's seriously. Yeah. My brothers, they all did 2 year loans and stuff.
mhm.
But you can toggle all the way to, dude. Celsius is out here, bro. Dude, I'm more hyped on Celsius than ever before, man. Dude, it's 0% interest loan, 0% on the 25% LTV loan. And obviously, if a lot of you guys who aren't in California, this is the state that steals all your money. Like 55, especially once you get above $250,000 in terms of earned income, you are like getting wrecked, people. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
55 cents of every dollar is just taken from you.
yeah, stealing money from liquidity pools.
Do you know how many coins
That
I
is
pump?
the
How many meme tokens would be blasting off? There's so many little doges out here just sad because I can't pump the bags. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, this is well, just in general, aside from even Cell Token, there's a lot of people with Bitcoin and Ether that can leverage up. So just having the entire state of California, which there's a lot of economic mass out here, because the whole thing with these markets is they pump off leverage. Usually, like there's a lot of leverage positions that pump the prices. So this is a pretty, I haven't taken any loans out personally, but um I wasn't really considering it, but I am going to
But
look into it.
look, I put more emphasis in that "but,"
Yeah,
please. Go ahead, do it again.
but I think your mic just cut out there.
Oh, I know. I muted it myself because I was laughing
Oh,
really
okay. Okay.
hard. But it's a great thing, especially if you want to spend some money or you want to like buy some stuff without taking the tax hit. That's really why I'm so excited
Mhm.
about the tax loan stuff, because a lot
Yeah.
of my cryptos,
Yeah.
I really haven't. I personally haven't sold cryptocurrencies since I think I sold crypto maybe once or twice in 2018, maybe. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, so you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
The whole thing right now is yeah, I just have my long-term bags, and I have some I have some capital on the sidelines that I want to re-enter the market on, because I know with all the loans that are coming up with Celsius, I'm fine with everybody else taking leverage. Like my intuition. So Celsius having loans is, first off, good for the market just in general, because it like other people are they're gonna take higher levels of risk. And then that's something I'm gonna look into during the next bear markets.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't originally planning on taking out any loans, but depending on what you're doing with like taxes and all that stuff, it could make sense. But having that during the next bear market's going to be very, very useful, because when everything resets, you're going to be able to take out some fairly low risk loans. The other thing I'm also speculating on is the volume that enters or leverages up through Celsius is going to be, I think, much higher than through what normally you see like through DeFi, like synthetics, or I think synthetics on Ethereum is one of the main platforms to take loans on.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, on the Ethereum side, Aave, you take loans on Aave.
Mm,
Um, the honestly, because of the gas fees and stuff, unless you're borrowing a lot of money, it's like I'd probably say it's worth it just to go through a centralized entity, which is like kind of
mm.
great. I can't believe I'm saying that. Probably through Celsius if you can, but I've heard people done on crypto.com or BlockFi, but one of those are fine, I guess. But you obviously got to be careful. You only put on what you're going to want to borrow, basically. And just to go on Wally's sources, like point right here, like, bro, I'm really lost how loans work. If I get a loan and the market goes down, what happens? So depending on okay, so let's just say as an example, you have 100 tokens that are all worth $1. Okay, and you put your 100 tokens on Celsius, and you do a 25% LTV. So what'll happen is Celsius will give you $25 worth of that coin, which are 25 coins, to make the math easy, and those 25 coins will then be deposited into your account as USDC or whatever stable coin you want. Because it's a loaned account, because you're essentially borrowing on your $100. So your hundred coins, or your $100 of coins that you put on Celsius, are now locked away, not earning interest, but they're just still there. You still own them, but they're locked up. And your loan, what you owe Celsius, is $25. They give you $25 because the interest rate's 0%. You basically just got to pay them even Stevens, basically, to get your money, to get the rest of the money back. So with that $25, you can then use that $25 or 25 tokens to then buy effectively any coins you want, or buy more of the coin you end up owning, which is pretty cool. Or you just spend it on stuff, and then you don't take a tax hit other than paying sales tax, basically, for stuff. In terms of what Wally Source is talking about here, about like what happens if the market will crash. So for you to lose your money, basically, because you are borrowing, you're taking leverage, right? For you to lose your money, the price of the token would have to go from $1 to 25 cents. So it'd have to go down 75%, basically, since you borrowed a quarter of the amount, basically. That's kind of the whole thing. So this is why if you're gonna borrow, you want to borrow during specific times, as well as like, it's really good when everything just crashed. If you're gonna borrow, because the chance of you getting liquidated just lowers substantially, because if the market, like earlier in the market, when the market crashed down 50%, that was actually the time to borrow, basically. If you're going to borrow, nobody wants to borrow. Everyone wants to borrow when the price is really high, because when the price is high, you get more money for that 25%. So imagine if the price of the token, is example, right? You have 100 tokens and they went to $2 per token, and then you borrowed. Your 25% LTV would be $50 instead of 25, but then your liquidation would be 50 cents instead of 25 cents. So you end up increasing the how easily you could get liquidated, basically. And you never borrow on your whole portfolio. That's really dumb. You only do it on a certain percentage if you want to. You don't have to, but this is just a tool for you to get access to some of your money, to circumvent the tax system, basically, in a legal way. In a legal way, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be very useful during the next, like if you buy coins in the next bear markets, you can allocate a percentage of that to loans, and then you're not using your principal, basically. You just get basically extra. If you do it correctly, you can preserve more of your initial stack and reduce the tax liability, or you won't have any tax liabilities on your original stack.
Right. So yeah. So I mean, myself personally, I'm borrowing on some of my Celsius tokens pretty soon. I'm just kind of debating kind of the dollar amount, really, what I want to borrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
doing my whole stack. I'm not doing my whole stack or anything like that. But I might
Yeah.
borrow. I might borrow on a quarter of my Celsius or
Okay, I was
something.
going to ask you about percentage, but yeah, quarter makes sense because if you did have to, if you, I don't think it's very likely you'd get margin called, but if you did, like
Yeah.
you're,
I,
you're
I
not using, yeah, yeah.
I made sure my brothers could pay back. They didn't borrow. I mean, I'll tell you what they borrowed. One of them borrowed 10 grand, and the one borrowed like
Mm,
2,000, 3,000. My 18-year-old brother. My 18-year-old brother, he borrowed like 2,000-3,000 bucks and stuff. And I told him, hey, you better not
yeah.
go spend this on your fucking girlfriend, bro. I swear to God. you better throw this into cryptos. But it's that sort of thing where like if they ever got in trouble, they can pull $2,000 out of their ass. The problem is like well, you could, yeah. I mean, you
Well, no,
can,
no, no.
yeah.
I was just laughing because it was like if they ever got in trouble, they'd be like, "Yo, Miguel."
I know, I know, I know.
They'd have a bailout.
Yeah, I know. They'd be like, Bank of International Settlements. I
Yeah,
need you to get me.
Bank of Miguel.
Have you ever seen the thing of like
Yeah.
SpongeBob and he's like, yeah, let's go to the International Bank of SpongeBob. He brings a rainbow. He's like, oh, it's empty. Oh, that's hella funny. But yeah, so you really normally we don't tell you to think in dollars, but since you're borrowing in dollars, you do got to think in terms of dollars. So it's always good to borrow if you're gonna borrow an amount, sort of borrow somewhere where you can kind of get yourself out of it. Trouble. Where people get into trouble is that two things. They borrow on a shitty asset that's very volatile. Oof. And on top of that, too, you borrow your whole net worth.
Mm.
That's terrible. Who the fuck tells you to do that?
Well, it's not terrible for everybody else pumping my bags. So,
Well, yeah.
well, unless they get liquidated and cause a flash crash, then that's a little different. But because that's the other thing is like during those flash crashes, you basically start having all these leverage positions get hit. It's basically a domino that goes through the order books, and then it's just other than that scenario, it's they generally pump your bags. Everybody else is degeneracy, but though I'm not advocating to do that on your whole stack, obviously.
Right. Yeah. There's ways to do it and stuff, but it's like you got to think really long and hard about it and stuff. Plus right now this is a really good time to do it. I actually would recommend a 25 over a 33% LTV right now. So on Celsius, obviously I'm just talking about Celsius here. That everyone else got like something on like an Aave or so. They have sort of a sliding scale. You could borrow. I mean, I've seen you can do 1% loans. So I can do, or not actually. I think like 5%. I'm sorry. You could borrow 5% of your money up to like 80%, 90% on your money. So you can go really, really, really retarded or really, really safe with it, basically. I actually think somewhere more in the middle is actually more dangerous than actually being on either end, because if you borrow 8% on your whole stack, there's almost fucking no chance, unless the asset you're borrowing on is really bad, that you're going to get liquidated. And if you borrow 90% of your money from yourself, if it if it goes bad, you only lose 10%. So it's this weird thing where like both like smooth brain and like wrinkle brain over here don't get really that hurt. It's the guys in the middle that get fucking rinsed, basically. That's why I like a 25% LTV, because you're kind of closer to like the wrinkle brain side, where like borrowing 90% of your money is some smooth brain shit. But I mean, hey, it has its benefits. I mean, I have not financial advice nor tax consultant or legal, tax attorney advice or anything like that. But like, technically, if you borrowed 99% of your on a 99% LTV and you got liquidated, but the rest of your money is now loaned income, I mean, technically, you're not. It's no taxes on that. I don't know. This is just some like shit I heard on the streets,
Why don't you go a little more detail on that?
No. Wave. No. I'm gonna wave that goodbye. Yeah. Let me go into the chat. Let's see. I'm gonna use my girlfriend OnlyFans money as collateral. Yeah, you could actually. Yeah. Multi-collateral loans. Yeah, all that stuff's coming and stuff. So it's like, yeah, just, as soon as you can do that. But I would if you're gonna loan, I only recommend on Celsius at 25. Basically, the 33 doesn't really make sense, especially if you're getting 0% interest, because let's just say it's 3% APR on the 33%. Then basically the difference between the two, right? You have a 25% with 0 APR, and you have a 33% with a 3% APR. And depending on the length as well, if you have a really long length, a really long length, the APR can increase on you as well. So effectively, it's sort of like you're borrowing. Like imagine if you do a 2-year 33% LTV at 3%, then what would happen is you would end up really only be borrowing 30% or 29% LTV, where the 25% is 25% LTV with a lower liquidation rate on top of that. So on that stuff, so a 5% difference on the money doesn't really make that much. I mean, it's 20% more money basically, but I really don't think it's worth it. So I'd rather have the lower liquidation rate if it's only 5%, if it's only like 20% money difference between the two loans. You know? Yeah. What are you smiling over there? You're looking devilish. What's going
No,
on?
I was just thinking. So generally for flash crashes, am I getting reverb? Hold on. All right, I think that's better. Yeah, so this is separate from what DC was mentioning, but basically, whenever you see flash crashers in the market, those are kind of similar to the whole thing where you're taking loans or whatever. Those are the smooth brains. Smooth brains cause flash crashes. Just put it that way.
Yeah. But there's some smooth brains thinking they're wrinkle brains. They're the ones really thinking like there's like a certain level of like IQ where like you're dangerous actually to yourself and humanity.
Could be actually. Well, the IQ part is it's also it could be it could actually limit your opportunity to an extent, because I see this with a lot of engineering brains, I guess, when it comes to crypto. Like they'll ask like, oh, it's like pointless, like I don't get it, I don't see the point. It's just, there's this printing of like these coins, and so the thing is, the financial markets are so chaotic that certain types of intellectual minds can limit their opportunities, even if they're, let's say, very smart when it comes to solving very complicated problems like in engineering or
Right.
some other field that's like very, very technical. Because like there's kind of this misconception where like their brains try to solve like some sort of, like in their minds, like they don't I can't describe it well, but I get the personality of it, and
Right.
you're better off. Honestly, this sounds crazy, but honestly, the people that are really stupid they'll do better than the people on the other end of the spectrum that are super 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 smart.
I think we need to do this now. Say that again.
I was saying like the people generally, when you look at the IQ curve, so there's different IQ curves I consider when looking at financial markets. So you can have somebody that's, let's say, very, very smart, right? And it goes, yeah, exactly what Obstinate Jack said, is they overthink it and they try to turn it into some sort of problem that doesn't exist, because markets are also very, very emotional driven as well. And generally, like engineers or somebody that's in some sort of technical field, they might look at things in terms of like pure logic, and because of that, it limits their opportunity. So their IQ actually in a financial market is very low, but their IQ in some kind of technical field is very high, and it's because markets, it can combine it starts to combine emotions, like human emotions. Like markets are very, very extremely emotional, and
Right.
if their emotional IQ isn't high, they're not gonna do very well.
Right. Yeah, it's like Rainier said right here. Fortis Fortuna Forbat? I don't know. Fortune favors
Fortune
the
favors
smooth
the smooth
brain.
brain. It does. It
Yeah.
actually does. Yep.
I don't know how to say the last word, but like, yeah, definitely. Fortune does favor the smooth brain. It's also like why like I've noticed a lot of religious people end up doing pretty well in crypto.
Mm.
It's just true. It's just
Well,
more
you
like
was
faith.
just believe in it. Yeah, that's the
Faith.
whole
Yeah.
thing. If because the guys that are on the other end of the spectrum, they're more likely to sell and get left behind, basically,
Right.
even if they are putting money in the market. So the only sort of middle ground to it is where you start to play both sides is people that just hedge, where you go to like the
Yeah.
whole market cycles, and when you're starting to get close to a top in the market. That's where you can take advantage of those moves.
I don't know why, but it's very funny.
Yeah,
all,
there's no way EOS has any programmers, but you
all
can
they have is
sort of
lawyers.
they
Only
have lawyers.
lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. There is probably some survivor's bias in play though. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Mm.
Only the smooth brain and the crazies survive. So it's like, but it's like this whole thing of like what we tell you, the whole diamond hands meme, it comes from like basically people for like, fuck it. I mean, like, dude, I'm down 90% anyway. Who cares? What's the other 10%? And like those are the ones
Yeah.
that survived and it made all the money now. Like seriously, like I remember when Litecoin was going down every single week, Bitcoin too. I remember there was a time where
Mm.
it was like 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000. Litecoin was like $80, 60, 50, 40, 30. It can't drop any lower. 20. Oh, I was like, oh, we're going to. Everyone was like, all right. Basically, he's like, yep, we're going to $1,000 for BTC and we're going to $4 for Litecoin. Yay! And then, of course, it's that whole thing of just like not losing faith and like because like I knew some people that sold at 30, trying to rebuy back in like like
Oh my
$11.
god,
Yeah,
that was that's brutal. Yeah.
yeah. You don't
Yep.
sell when it's crashing like that. You're already fucked.
Yeah, you're already fucked. Once you're down 70%, like come back in 6 months and see if the price is higher. Like,
I just kept buying. This is why that
yeah.
whole dollar cost averaging sort of thing. And then two, it's like especially during when prices are really, really low, that's when you kind of
Mm.
ape it a little harder and stuff. And you're catching falling knives here. The thing
Yeah.
is, once you do your research, these coins are going to survive the bear market. Like there is a bit of guesswork in that and research you end up having to do, but something like a Litecoin back in the day, like it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
And, yeah,
I mean, even though like price performance wise, it wasn't as good compared to other coins.
correct. Yeah,
If you bought Litecoin in a bear market, you would have went up over
pretty
10x.
significant.
It was
Yeah,
pretty, but
yeah,
it's still a lot of money. So that's the other thing, is even if your pick isn't right in a bear market, but if the coin if you end up picking a coin that doesn't die, you can still make a lot of upside.
right.
The part with, I guess, the learning experience on this isn't even just really Litecoin. It's all the proof of work coins. So this is also true for Monero. I thought Monero was going to do a lot better initially, and then
Yeah,
the learn like the side there is like the DeFi side really changed the space. It's all about the supply sinks now and having
yeah,
these pockets for supply to fall into. And then if you're speculating on coins, you're better off, like, if you don't know what the surviving coins are going to be, or ones that are likely to do well, your risk is actually lower speculating on new coins, because they don't have trauma on the price charts.
by trauma bag holders. That's what we
Yes,
mean.
bag
Yes,
holder
yeah.
memory.
Yeah, there's only like flowers and daisies and sunshine on
Yes,
the coin launches.
yes.
But yeah, so Lee Potter has what was it says so you're saying if I lose less, I lose less if I went with 98% as opposed to 90%. Yes, you'd only lose 2%, correct. versus 90%, but very few places offer that. And on the DeFi side, it's not really, it's offered. You could do a 90% LTV, but the problem is like I don't think most financial entities would count that as actually loaned income technically through a tax. I don't know.
I heard
Where like
somewhere. Yeah. Do you want to go into more 98% LTV?
I mean, if you want to go into it, let's go into it. I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna degen it up here. I mean, but like, it's the sort of thing of like this is just on the feather in the cap for Celsius. Like so far, I've seen I think only like 500 people took loans in Cali so far, which is good. So more and more people are gonna start taking loans as it goes down. It's kind of crazy, man. Shit, take a couple $100,000 out and just go buy more Celsius. Go buy another 30,000 cell tokens. Pump everyone's bags. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say for like the taxes, wink, wink,
wink, wink. Okay.
Does that 98? Where does that 98% LTV exist?
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
probably, or like maybe on Terra Station or Luna or something. I'm guessing.
Let me Google this. Is there a tax rule on the LTV?
Yeah, he's about to flutter bags right here, man. Wave 3
I'm
live.
not putting bags. I'm just trying to see if there's a technical specification by the IRS on LTVs and what the allowable limit is for maximum wealth preservation.
Okay, so we'll just continue the stream like this. So yeah, put you back. Yeah. Dollar cost you saying yeah, pretty much. I like these late night streams, man, because I got no one bothering me, so I can just like talk and stuff and everything. But yeah, it's some really cool stuff going on right now in crypto and stuff. Like I think Celsius is gonna start ramping up here in a couple months. Pretty much, it's always a late bloomer anyway. So here's another bonus for actually doing an LTV. Now this is degenerate. Please don't never count on this, because I know this is. I've talked to people and this is part of their strategy. Is that so? When you take so let's go back. Maybe I should do a whiteboard. I think that well, you're about to go. Welcome to Dollar Costa's Crypto, or welcome to my kindergarten class. Let me go to whiteboard. Okay, cool. All right, so let me share my screen. Whiteboard. Right. So can you see this? Yep. Okay. So if let's just say you start here with 100 tokens, right, and you do a I don't know, a 25 LTV, right? Doctors of handwriting, so obviously, right? Would equal up basically you would borrow 25% of the asset. So if you have 100 tokens, you would get 100 tokens. Let's just say all these tokens are worth $1. So you'd get so you'd get something like, you get $25 worth of money basically. In this scenario, right? So let's just say this token right here is worth like $1, right? $1. It's really hard on mouse, holy shit. But like, let's just say it's worth $1, and then over let's just say over 3 months, it just fucking does amazing. It just 5x's or something, basically, right? It goes to $5. So what happens is you still owe $25 in the loan right here for this LTV right here. This doesn't change, right? It's static. You owe $25 on this 25% LTV at $1. But the $100 that you locked up in this loan right here, the value of those assets went up 5 times. So what'll happen is effectively you can either just pay back the $25, right? Because you have literally instead of having $100 locked up with a $25 loan, you have $500 locked away for $25 in this example, because the asset has grown to $5. Or this is the big or right here, right? Or what you can do is instead of just paying back that, you can decide like, okay, just take it from this, take it from my 100. So if you take it from your 100, all it is -5. And what'll happen is they'll give you you'll keep the $25 from the loan, and they'll return to you 95 tokens. If you had done it this way, what happened is you would have been given back 75 tokens and kept the $25. So that's kind of the beauty of like the LTV system essentially, where if nothing changes, you just pay back the same amount, or let's just say you run through the money. Let's just say you take the $25 and you can add as many zeros to, let's just say it's $25,000, and I'm like, I blow it on fucking cocaine and hookers, right? And then I'm like, God damn it, I spent it all. Fuck, what do I do now? So I'm like, okay, well, shit, just take the 25% LTV for my assets, and then they'll return to me 75 coins instead of the 100 coins I had. But if the price of the token increases during that time, then I can do the same thing. I can blow the 25 grand on cocaine and hookers, and like, and then instead, because the price went up 5x, I can get returned 95% of my coins, which is 95 tokens. So that's kind of the cool thing is during an upwards trend of when the market's like going up, it's amazing. It really is amazing. It's really it's real life-changing money, you guys. Real life-changing money. But it also works in opposite as well, right? So imagine the price of the token. Let me go back to this. So this is the good stuff. This is like, yay, me smiling, right? But let me clear this fucking thing. How do I clear it? No? I don't know how to clear this. Oh well, whatever. So let's just say in this example again, right? This same example, right? I have a 100 tokens on a 25% LTV equals 25, right? But in this example, the price of the token goes to 50 cents, which happens in crypto quite a lot. I mean, obviously, Wave3 could tell you, right?
Wait,
as he doesn't pay attention. As he doesn't pay attention.
I don't pay attention in class ever.
But okay, so in crypto all the time, right? There's a lot of volatility. So you have assets actually crash down in price. So sometimes you have assets go down 50%, or they go up like 2, 3, 4, or 5x over a period of time. So in this example, let's just say you blow the $25 on some or the $25,000 on cocaine and whatever, right? And then not cocaine, but like whatever you end up doing, right? Whatever you do with the money, you spend it, and then you're like, oh shit, you still owe the $25, but your assets are now worth only $50. So what'll happen is, let's just say you get into a big bind and you're like, oh, fuck, I need my coins back. Sell them. So instead of getting 75, like this example, if it just stayed at $1, what'll happen is you'll get back $25. So you still kept the other 25, but you spent it. But in terms of your tokens that you get back, you started with 100 and you end up with 25. So this is sort of like the negative. This is like sort of like the negative feedback loop that can happen in terms of doing loans. If you fuck up and this is typically what happens to people when they borrow at the all-time highs. So let's just say normally the price of the token is 50 cents, but over a year it goes to $1, and people, or it goes, let's just say the price of the token is 25 cents, and then it just shoots up to $1. People always fucking borrow at $1. Like let's just say like the trajectory of this price, right? You have token here. Wow. Okay. It's really hard to draw with this mouse right here. The token for most of the year, right? It started at about let's call it 25 cents, right? 25 cents, and then within let's just say quarter 4, it goes to like, I don't know, $1. And we're like, whoa. And everyone who owns that token's like, I'm rich. I threw my last $5,000 and I got $20,000 or whatever. What'll end up happening is people will always borrow on their stuff over here instead of down here. or let's just say like it hits $1 and you're like, I want to borrow, but I know that's retarded, and then it crashes to 50 cents. That'd be a safer place to borrow than borrowing at the all-time high. People always want to borrow and do all kinds of dumb shit at the all-time highs, which is really, really dumb because it really puts you out of position. So when the tide kind of pulls back in, and what people mean by the tide pulling in is where the like basically where the tide when the tide pulls in and stuff, and you're like in the prices crash, you pretty much have most of your assets gone, or you're just out of here. This is why like a lot of people, they don't borrow on a lot of their assets and stuff, or they just do mostly borrowing is still pretty new to crypto, to tell you the truth. But most people do leverage, which is like essentially trading with your money, which is pretty stupid. But loaning's a little bit safe. It's a lot safer, but it still has risks like leverage. It like when you do a 25% LTV, it's like you're doing a 1.5x long. You're longing the market, basically. You're longing the price. Yeah. So that is my kindergarten class on taking loans and not taking loans. So if you're going to take a loan on an asset, like the best time is basically when the price fucking crashes like 50, 60%. No, flash crash. Because that's when you lock in that low cheap rate, basically. It really lowers your chance of getting liquidated. But obviously, it's the sort of thing where, like, I don't really recommend leverage too much. The only reason I talk about this is because there's responsible ways to essentially smoke cigarettes. No, I'm just, I mean, there's responsible ways for you to do this, and you can use some of your like crypto. Like, let's say you made a lot of money in crypto, but you don't want to sell just yet. You could borrow on your crypto and pay your taxes off for the year. And that sort of thing, or you could get yourself a car. Like I know people buying houses with the money they're taking loans on and stuff. And this is why, like, over time this ends up doing stuff. But because we don't live like there's this whole thing about like the blockchain world, like, oh no, this is crypto. Well, it is, right? But crypto at somewhere it touches the real world. And the real world has these rules that aren't really like crypto friendly. So we have to kind of use what we can to essentially circumvent a lot of those rules legally. So yeah. Yep. Yo, Wave, are you still there? The class is over.
Oh yeah, I'm all right, cool. Now
I'm a teacher, just like Wave, wake up. Wake up.
Yeah. Well, back when I was in college, I had maybe like a 20% attendance rate to classes. I just never showed up to them.
What?
I never showed up to classes in college. So 20, and the only ones I showed up to were the ones that were mandatory. Otherwise, they'd like fail you if you had too many absences, which were really lame.
You showed up to cheerleading?
Nope.
Water polo.
Water polo. That's all I did. I went to college and took only classes on water polo.
Yeah, I'm doing freestyle frisbee. It's like, this is how, like, I might go pro one day. I've heard they're gonna add it to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Wasabi was enjoying the campus life. Yeah, he was, right? But does anyone have any questions on more Celsius stuff? Ask now or forever hold your peace. Wow, this shit's good. This is real alpha. It really is. It's like a lot of people don't know that and stuff. Like what Celsius is offering is they're giving you guys the tools of the super hyper wealthy. Basically, most people don't have access to any of these these loans and stuff. You only really have access to some version of that with, I would say, borrowing on your house.
That is true.
Yeah, most places won't even let you borrow on your portfolio. Or if they do, it's a very high interest rate, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The average fund where you can then start borrowing on your crypto. I mean, this may have changed a little bit, but at least from what I remember, back in the day, this is maybe like 2-3 years ago, you needed to have something close to about $10 million worth of a portfolio. You had to be a small hedge fund for you to be able to borrow on your equity. To do some sort of like basically a Celsius loan where I could like take like, I don't know, $10 million of like the S&P 500 and like Vanguard fund, borrow on it, then use that money to like buy Tesla. For two, actually, that might even have worked out. Actually, if you think about it, right, 3%. Now that may have actually worked. So if any of their bets actually that's actually not bad. But like this little degen, but yeah, yeah. The terms in terms. Oh, that's a nice mustache. That's a nice beard right there, bro. In terms of the terms and everything like that, I would say that you can go anywhere from 6 months up to 3 years. I would probably get something like 2 years minimum to 3 years. It doesn't at a 25% LTV. There's really no cost. I mean, so just might as well get the long term. Why not? You know, because you may be like, I don't want to pay it back right now, and it gives you a lot of time to pay it back. So it gives you sort of the length gives you like sort of like, you know, just like the girls, right? The length gives you sort of the the flexibility.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know, that length really gives you like strength to hit the back of those cell walls, you know. Oh fuck.
You drinking whiskey right now?
Yeah. Coke and rum, baby. Coke and rum. Anyway. I need to put that on a shirt, bro.
Takes a sip of his rum or his whiskey.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. How do people use a cell token? Wait. Let's see. How do people actually use a cell token to make it in demand?
I think he's saying what drives the demands for cell tokens. And
Oh, there's a buying pressure. The company uses a
Yeah.
lot of the revenue to buy up the token and pays you a weekly dividend. So there's always a consistent buyer in the market, as well as people hoard up Celsius to secure essentially weekly passive income. Yeah. So as Celsius gets richer, the more tokens they end up buying, the kind of drives the price up over time. PG more liquidation. Okay, so let's see. Oh, in a liquidation event, is it correct that basically you can just swap your liquidation collateral for the assets borrowed since you keep the borrowed asset? Let me see. Yeah, you could. Yeah, if I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, so if you can return the asset back, or because you have the asset borrowed already. So it's in that example, right? You have for every dollar you borrow, you have $4 of collateral, basically. So it's 4-to-1 basically, or yeah, 4-to-1 basically. So you could just decide if you just run through the money, you could pay it back, and you'll get 75% of your money back, basically, if the price of the token doesn't move. Let's see. Did Celsius focus on having loans available in California first? Because yes, they did. They tried to. Well, it was really hard. I mean, not the circle jerk, the state of California, but it's pretty much one of the biggest economies on the planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically what Celsius said is that it's all about California, because once you leave California, you enter plebdor. I'm just kidding.
Plebdor. Well, yeah, like I look at real estate prices outside of California, and I'm like, wow, how
Way
quaint.
better.
How
Yeah.
quaint. I think like five of them.
That's not gonna. Well, there's there's a lot of investors in California that are purchasing up real estate too in
Yeah.
other states. Like certain parts on the East Coast blew up recently, where the prices on real estate pumped. But I mean, regardless, like even real estate, I mean, it doesn't really matter because crypto is just gonna beat everything by insane amounts. So um, for real estate, I'm thinking maybe just have a property, like a one physical property, and then maybe that's it tops for me at least during the next bear market. And maybe not even, because I'm gonna want more gains in crypto.
Right. Let's see. I compared California, Texas to Texas homes. I can own a Puff Daddy home in Texas with what I can get in California. Yeah, you can get a small shack in California. You can get yourself a fucking Puff Daddy mansion in other parts of the United States. Oh my god. Let's see. This is really good info. DCC, appreciate it now for sure, bro. Let's see. Oh, be sure to hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Literally, actually hit the notification bell, because if you don't, you'll end up finding that you get unsubscribed. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. I built a brand new house for $250,000. That would get me a 200 square foot studio in California. Yeah, probably. Let's see. DCC tell Anorak. Thanks. Sure. Fuck off, California. We're full. Well, I'm gonna shove it in anyway. I'm trying to use crypto gains to get real estate. Yeah, you definitely can. You will. Yeah, because effectively, if you don't know this, like you're taking a 80, like most people when they get a house, they're kind of taking sort of like a backwards version of an 80% LTV. You're borrowing 5-to-1 most of the times. Like 20, I put 20% down on my house, so you basically the bank's giving you 80% of the rest of the money, basically. So they're giving you literally about 4 times your money on a loan with you putting into that. Yeah, so it's like that would be a reverse LTV. I don't know what you call that, but a mortgage or whatever. But yeah, what's wrong with you, man? You're just smiling over there in the corner.
Oh
just
no,
like,
I'm just
ha ha ha.
I'm just reading stuff on Twitter. I'll tell you in the green room. It's actually really funny, but
Yeah. Let's see. Great info. Do you mind elaborating on tax savings? I'm not a tax consultant. Don't take my tax information with any credence, really. Just yeah, every state's different. Everyone's got a different situation, you know. But typically, if you're already borrowing on your assets, you don't really pay that much in loans. I mean, you pay that in income, as well as dividends. You pay less money on dividends anyway, even on taxes. Like the whole structure is basically to steal the working man's dollar and keep basically dividend income and shit. Like pretty much you want to earn and not earned income, basically. The whole system is effectively like, and this is really fucked up. Me and Wave 3 have talked about this a lot back in the day, but the whole system's really incentivize you to own slaves, effectively.
Yep.
Slaves. You heard that right. Yes, slaves. Yes, correct.
That is the truth in its purest form.
It's really fucked if you think about it, right? So when you own a house, right, you effectively, well, there's okay. So am I being a little bit like am I being a little bit like a drama queen by saying slave? Yeah, but you know, so okay, when you own a house, right, and you have someone renting from you, right? Let's just say you own the house, right? And let's just say here in somewhere in California or wherever you live, right? They're paying, I don't know, $2,000, $1,500, $3,000-$4,000, right? Typically, that's anywhere from 25 to 30% of their monthly income, if they're lucky. More than likely, that'll be 30% of their combined income of of your wife and yourself working, right? And what's going to happen from that is that basically means for the first week and a half, 2 weeks, you've got his wife and your. So let's just say Wasabi rented from me, right? And Wasabi paid me $4,000 or $5,000. I charge him more, because he's an asshole. But like, I charge him like $4,000 or $5,000 on it to rent. Let's just say I own his apartment right there. And like, you know what, Wasabi, you want to keep fucking playing ice hockey and all these foosballs and stuff? You're gonna pay me $5,000. And Wasabi was like, fuck, fine. And let's just say Wasabi makes 20 grand a month, which is pretty good. Means Wasabi would have to work 7 days as my slave to pay me to live. It's just an example. Wave, chill, bro. It's just an example. I'm just saying. Like I charge you $5,000, and let's just say you make 20, right? Well, you're kind of my slave for 7 days out of the month, right?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, nope. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. You earn 20.
Let's go back.
Let's do the math. All right.
Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay. There's 4 weeks in a month, right?
Nope.
No?
I'm just gonna rebel. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. There's 4 weeks in a month. Okay. Yeah, I could pick a better slave. Yeah, but like.
Should trade.
Okay, let's just say as an example, right? All right. There's 4 weeks in a month, okay? 4 weeks in a month, okay? And Wasabi here makes $5,000 per week working, or hardly working, what he calls work. Okay. And I, out of the goodness of my heart, only charge him $5,000. Right. So in order for Wave 3 TV to pay me his dole to live on this earth in my property, he has to work for me, or work for, well, I guess technically it wouldn't be work for me, but it would be like in this example, it would be like you'd be working for that person, like you'd be working for someone else, but you essentially would be working for that person, that landlord. And that, like, if you notice all these terms, all these like you're like, oh, I have a mortgage, right? So you'll be paying this thing off until you die. You have a landlord. It's pretty, like, if you like sharecropper. I mean, like, these words are all like pretty, and they all come from like the slave era and stuff. Like the whole American system and the whole world system is basically on indentured servitude, and like essentially having people work for you in a roundabout way. A serf. There we go. A serf. There we go. Yes.
Fucking
Yes.
talking about.
He's my He's like
serfs. God damn.
He's my serf. He's a pleb, and
Fuck out of here, calling me a pleb. How dare you?
Yeah, he's my pleb, or he's my serf. One day, if he's good, if he acts right, pays his rent and stuff to his like landlord, his baron, right? I will one day allow one of his sons to maybe become a knight. Maybe. It depends if he plays his cards right, okay? Wasabi makes us lousy slave. You're fired.
I just don't show up.
Yeah, let's see. When a normal person would give their hard-earned money away for someone else for no reason. Yeah. DCC is a daimyo. But basically, I know, but but I have to say it in a fucked up way for it to actually come across. Like, that's really what it is. And like, this is what me and Wasabi were talking about. Well, I mean, we're joking around just as much, or even worse. It was like the examples we were saying in the green room like years ago were like terrible. But if you look at crypto, if you look at the whole thing in a really negative light, right? And just to see what it actually is, it's like, because it's kind of crazy when you're in crypto, these terms like LTV and all these other things, right? You would never learn about that. Crypto puts it in an easy way for you to understand, and then from there you're like, oh, you guys are hustling me. Oh, right. So instead of actually having slaves, right? They're debt slaves. That's the reason people want you in debt, because effectively your labor becomes their income. They own you in a way without actually owning you. So imagine like you have a slave where you don't pay their room and board or anything. They do it themselves, but their income still goes to you. So they don't even know who their master is. Pretty deep, right? I mean, yeah.
That's how all of money, though. To be fair, like any money.
Yeah, but it all comes from like slavery. If you look at it, like other people would. Why do you think we would conquer other places? We take like basically kill all the men that could actually like fight and stuff and everything, or just use them as slave, or use them as labor. Take all the women and then like just take everything in the land, and then have their kids. And that's a fucked up shit. People then impregnate a lot of the people in that place, and then have them working on their land, which is their, and then just continually living off of their. Dude, it's messed up, dude. Yeah. Let's see. At best, you get 8 to 10% interest from renting real estate. Why bother dealing with a California tenant when you can get that with it? Yeah, you definitely could. And so it's just, the thing is like eventually you get to a certain point when you have enough money and stuff that you just kind of want you want some assets outside of crypto just in case. It's just smart over time. You like, what if like I'm not saying this now, but it's possible in like 10 years from now we actually could go through a super bear cycle where like crypto doesn't go up for 5-10 years. Oh, not 10 years, that's a lot, but like 5 years, 6 years. The average bear market in crypto is like a year and a half. What if it's 5 years for one cycle? Holy shit. That'll, like, how many people will end up having like just they're out of the game basically. So having a decentralized amount of income coming in from different sources, you got a couple wasabis, you got a couple IHOPs, a couple Denny's, a couple taco house. Like basically, I'm gonna build my whole portfolio of how to take all of Wasabi's money. So I'm gonna buy a bunch of taco shops. I'm gonna buy a fucking ice rink. I'm gonna a gas station. Oh fuck. But yeah.
Just means I get free tacos. That's what I think.
Everyone's a slave to something. That's true, actually. Yeah. It is a weird system. We're all essentially like that's why the things like the more things you own, the more they own you. That old jazz.
That's actually that's a very good way to describe it though. Because at the end of the day, you're just creating a goal.
Yeah.
So which you could define it as you're a slave to that, or that's just what your goal is, which is fine.
Yeah. How about an index fund or diversification? Yeah, you can do index funds. Index funds are cool, but here's the problem with index funds. They grow 7% a year. So you double your money. I mean, like do the whole rule of 62, right? Or 64, or whatever the fuck it is. Like 42 divided by 7, bam. So it's like, yeah, like, or 72, I'm sorry. So basically it would take you like 11 years or 10 point something years to double your money in an index fund. So it's sort of the thing where like you can build some money by having savings there and it grows a little bit, but it's not you don't multiply. This is why cryptocurrency is really the way out. Is you can essentially take your pleb dollars, turn them into some fucking gorilla bucks, and then you can diversify them into other things. Like if I had like $100 million in cash right now, yeah, I'd probably have I'd have 10, $20 million in fucking equities. Why not? Just to keep some stable stuff and have some stable income in there. And then if there's a certain point where you have enough money where you're just your money just comes out of everywhere, every orifice, and you can just take that money like on $100 million if you're not able to like earn like $5 million off a year safely off of that, like, are you retarded? Like, I don't know. Like, you have to ask yourself, like, like if I told Wasabi, I have like, yo, Wasabi, I've got 100 million cash right now. Like, I can't make any money on this 100 million bucks. Wasabi would be like, are you retarded? You know what I mean? Like, watch this. Like, let's just say if you had 100 million bucks right now, right? Even if I threw all $100 million into like the fucking I don't know, like the dividend, like a dividend portfolio or whatever, right? In equities, like you would even 100 million would be like 3 million, right? 3 million bucks divided by 365 per day. You'd be earning on $100 million a day, having like the worst strategy ever, just trying to live off of dividends. You'd be earning fucking $8,219 a day passively. Anyway, not including the appreciation of the equities. It's that sort of thing right there, right? Or let me times that by 30, basically. Or you'd be earning something like $250,000 a month. There's people in crypto doing that with way less, with a couple million. It's like that. So you of course, like later on, maybe put like 20 million on some real estate. You put 10 million in some equities here, and then from there you still ape into cryptos, and then from there it really is just buying like businesses and stuff, mostly on the real estate side, and then you just ape back in because like if you have 100 million paid in through, right, you can put 50 million into other assets, just keep growing and stuff and everything, and then when crypto crashes back, you just put another 50 million at a time in there and fucking just ape it out. I mean, look at this. If like next bear market, right, let's just say if I had 50 million bucks and I just like lazily invest it into crypto, I'll do a 20x on that. I'll turn 50 million into $1 billion, basically. And then everybody else is like, "Oh my God, you're such a genius, bro." I'm like, "Bro, like you're your investment god." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
That's fun.
Yeah. And then you rinse and repeat. Then I put a $500 million into real estate. They can't tax me on it anyway because I'm putting it into real estate. Have that kick me off income, and then I just rinse and repeat with another $500 million, and then from there turn I don't know what is that, turn half like $500 million into fucking 10 billion on the next run up, and then rinse and repeat again until like eventually like, Miguel, so how did you own all the assets in the world? I don't know. Yeah. Well, you could buy that, or you can buy the gut, bro. I mean, you could long it and stuff. That's true. But I don't think equities are going to be really good for the next decade. I think they're going to have kind of a bear market. That's kind of what like Warren Buffett and them were indicating, that we're going to go into like a 10-year sort of bear market. It's probably 5, honestly, but yeah. At some one day when it does crash, one day. Just casual, but just casual as fuck, man. But then from there, like, well, once let's just say we get to the point where we have billions and billions of dollars, which is going to happen, right? Like, it's inevitable. It's Thanos right here. It's like it's going to happen, right? I have all the Infinity Stones, right? I got Charlie Wasabi. I got we got the gauntlet of the Infinity Stones, right? And like $1 billion are for sure. Then from there, it'd be more of just like owning started companies that have like power, right? Like I'd probably buy Disney or own a shit ton of Disney and shit.
Well, hopefully the equities bear market happens like a year or two out or later, because the problem with the equities bear market is so if you did have, let's say, I have a hard time seeing like a huge down drop. But let's just say it happened. Let's just say we got a bear market, it's crazy bear market in equities, and it just like died like 80%. So any like the amount of USD that would get taken out. So it's almost like I just think of it as a liquidity pool where whoever exits soon enough gets like basically the entire pool of USD, and then there's just less left in that system for everybody else to fight over, which would probably cause like the crypto market to inevitably, because they'd have to tap into the other market to get cash out, and you have like an overlap of investors on the two sides. At some point though, it'll probably be primarily crypto, where hopefully, well, I guess like the hedge funds, and I guess it just depends on how the big whales are positioned, but maybe after enough cycles, maybe there's a certain point where the two markets can service. Yeah, maybe at some point the two markets could separate, but they've been pretty correlated for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like the best thing I heard from somebody was like that a lot of people in cryptocurrencies were pretty much just junk bond traders. They were correlated. If junk bonds did really bad, then crypto would crash, which is pretty funny.
Mm.
So a lot of those risky bond traders, they make some money on these risky bonds, and they're like, well, it's already casino chips anyway. Fuck it, I'll throw it into crypto. Let's see what happens. So they win the bet, and then they go into a more dangerous bet, sort of thing, But yeah. Yeah, you guys got any final questions? Do you guys like obviously if you're gonna take loans, do it carefully, have a good strategy and stuff. If you need help, just hit me up with a consult or something, or talk to Wave 3 TV. Yeah, just hit me up on DM or Telegram and stuff on either Twitter or that. Yeah. But in terms of something else, let's see. Did you want to talk about Polkadot for a little bit?
Well, I'm just trying to think if there's, I would say probably in a couple days.
Okay.
There's a couple things I'm reading into, so better prepared, I guess, later this week.
Got it. Well, all right, you guys, I guess that's it for this. It's pretty late over here, so I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
See you guys.